Have you ever asked yourself, does sex after 60 still matter? Is there still passion? Am I still capable? Many men entering their 60s carry a silent worry that their bodies aren't the same, that they feel distant from their partner, or worse, that they've somehow become past their prime. But the truth is, that's not the case. Sex doesn't end with age, it evolves. And if you understand those changes, you can experience intimacy that is deeper, stronger, and more fulfilling than ever before. I'm Dr. James Walker, a urologist and men's health specialist with over 10 years of experience. And today, I'll share with you 5 powerful sex secrets that thousands of men over 60 wish they had known earlier. These aren't just health tips. They're the keys to restoring your confidence, your connection, and your masculine identity. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 80 years old, if you still love, still desire, and are still alive, then this video is for you. 1. Don't rely on spontaneity. Be proactive and prepare. When we're young, intimacy often happens naturally, quickly and full of excitement. The body reacts instantly with little to no preparation needed. That sense of spontaneity used to feel like a mark of manhood. The ability to be ready anytime gave many men a feeling of strength, attractiveness, and confidence. But after 60, things change. The body no longer functions like it did in youth. Hormone levels decline, blood flow slows down, and while desire might still be there, the body doesn't always keep up. If you still believe intimacy should just happen naturally without preparation, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. And failure in the bedroom doesn't just ruin the mood, it can lead to shame, self-doubt, and growing emotional distance from your partner. Many men after 60 have experienced a single moment of failure and quietly backed away, never daring to try again. Not because they didn't want to, but because they feared failing again. But the truth is, preparation doesn't kill passion, it protects it. Preparing for intimacy can be as simple as choosing the time of day when you feel most energetic, avoiding alcohol or medications that affect blood pressure or circulation, doing a few light exercises to stimulate blood flow, and most importantly, talking openly with your partner to create a warm, pressure-free environment. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. A man who knows his body, who takes care of it and prepares thoughtfully for moments of intimacy, that's a man of true strength and maturity. Sex after 60 is no longer about impulse. It's about understanding, connection, and intention. And that, more than anything, is what creates deep, lasting intimacy. 2. Erectile dysfunction isn't just about the bedroom. It's a warning sign from your heart. Many men over 60 start to notice changes in their ability to get or maintain an erection. It's not as responsive as before, doesn't last as long, or just doesn't feel the same. The usual response: ignore it, blame it on age, or try to fix it quickly with enhancement pills, without checking their overall health. But few realize this truth. Erectile dysfunction isn't just a sexual issue. It's often an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease. The penis contains some of the smallest and most sensitive blood vessels in the entire body. If blood has trouble flowing there, there's a high chance that larger vessels, like those supplying the heart or brain, may also be narrowing or blocked without you knowing it. I once treated a 67-year-old patient named David. He came in simply because things weren't the same in the bedroom. He wasn't in pain, and nothing seemed obviously wrong. But after running tests, we discovered his left coronary artery was 90% blocked, an extremely dangerous condition that could have led to a heart attack at any moment. If David hadn't come in when he did, he might not have had a second chance. Many men still think erectile dysfunction is something embarrassing, something to hide or quietly ignore. But in reality, it's your body's silent cry for help. And if you listen in time, you could save not just your sex life, but your actual life. Instead of feeling ashamed, feel fortunate that your body is still sending signals. Be proactive. See a doctor, check your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and heart function. View these small changes not as the end, but as an opportunity for early intervention. Remember, a wise man isn't someone who never faces problems. He's someone who acts when his body speaks up. Don't take intimacy lightly, because sometimes it's your heart trying to warn you before it's too late. 3. Sex isn't just physical. It's powerful emotional medicine after 60. When people talk about sex, most men immediately think of the physical aspects, getting an erection, maintaining it, reaching climax. But what very few realize is the deep emotional and psychological meaning of sex, especially after the age of 60. After years of working with hundreds of older patients, I've come to see this truth. What they long for isn't just physical satisfaction, it's connection. To be seen, to be loved, to be touched with heart, not just hands. One 74-year-old man once said to me through tears, "I can't even remember the last time someone held my hand. Not because I didn't need it, but because I thought I was too old to want it." That moment changed me. It made me realize that the absence of physical affection doesn't just lead to loneliness. It can seriously damage a person's mental and physical health. Numerous studies have shown that emotional closeness, hugs, holding hands, and even healthy sexual intimacy helps the body release oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. These are not just feel-good hormones. They reduce stress, improve sleep, strengthen immunity, and regulate blood pressure. When this connection is missing, many people fall into what I call emotional starvation, a silent state that leads to depression, insomnia, chronic high blood pressure, and even accelerated cognitive decline. In other words, lack of affection can speed up the aging process. So don't tell yourself you're too old to need love or closeness. You deserve connection, not just with your partner, but with your own emotions. Sex at this stage of life doesn't need to be rushed or perfect. What matters most is presence and sincerity. A gentle touch, a knowing look, a quiet evening in each other's arms can sometimes mean more than an intense sexual experience. And if you're living alone, that doesn't mean you have to give up closeness. Emotional connection can come from hugging your grandchildren, deep conversations with close friends, or simply learning to show affection to yourself in a respectful, mindful way. Sex after 60 is no longer a competition of performance. It becomes a journey of emotional nourishment. And once you reach that deeper layer, every intimate moment becomes more meaningful than ever before. 4. Pornography is silently destroying your confidence and real connection. There's one thing many older men never talk about, not even with their partner. They secretly turn to pornography as a way to release, to quietly chase the spark of arousal again. At first, it may seem harmless, just curiosity. But over time, that seemingly innocent habit turns into a silent force that erodes self-confidence, emotional connection, and real intimacy. I once treated a 71-year-old patient named Walter, a retired Navy officer. He confided in me that he hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 4 years. Not because he no longer loved her, but because he had grown used to being alone in front of a screen. Eventually, he found his real-life partner less exciting, less stimulating, not like what he watched every night. That's the psychological trap pornography sets. It conditions your brain to expect perfection, flawless bodies, aggressive behaviors, instant reactions. And suddenly, real-life intimacy, with its vulnerability, emotional depth, and physical limitations, starts to feel less exciting. Worse still, your brain starts to desensitize. After a while, many men find they're no longer aroused by real human touch. They can't climax without artificial images, and often feel empty, numb, or even ashamed afterwards. The danger runs deeper than the bedroom. Porn quietly shapes how you see yourself, leading to comparisons, shame, avoidance of real intimacy, and in many cases, emotional withdrawal from your partner. But you are not alone, and there is a path back. Start by being honest with yourself. Are you seeking pleasure, or are you avoiding real connection? Turn off the screen and turn toward real emotion. A sincere touch, a meaningful conversation, a slow, heartfelt kiss. These may come gently, but they offer deep connection, long-lasting fulfillment, and a sense of self-worth. Real sex may not look like what's on the screen, but its imperfections are exactly what make it authentic, precious, and deeply meaningful. 5. The most dangerous mistake: trying to prove your manhood instead of listening to your body. There's a moment that might feel positive, even empowering, but actually carries serious risks for men over 60. It's the moment you feel ready, full of desire, and want to prove that you've still got it, just like in your younger days. It could be after an emotional date, a compliment from someone, or a sudden urge to reclaim your confidence. And so, you dive into intimacy. Without a plan, without considering your heart health, without thinking about the medications you're on. You might even drink alcohol or take performance-enhancing drugs without consulting a doctor. Here's the truth. Sex at middle and older age is no longer a purely instinctive act. It's a full-body physical activity. During intercourse, your heart beats faster, blood pressure rises, breathing becomes rapid, and your circulatory system works at maximum capacity. It's no different than hiking up a steep hill, and if you don't warm up or prepare, that climb can quickly turn into a dangerous fall. There have been many cases of older men suffering strokes, fainting, heart rhythm issues, or even cardiac events during sex, not because they lacked desire, but because they tried to perform like they were still 25, forgetting that their body is in a different phase of life. Confidence is good, but ignorance and carelessness are a recipe for disaster. Don't let one unprepared moment become a lifelong regret, or worse, leave no chance for recovery. Understand this. Slowing down doesn't mean weakness. It means wisdom. Listening to your body isn't about losing masculinity. It's about protecting it. Instead of trying to prove something, choose to enjoy the experience through emotional connection, mutual understanding, and thoughtful preparation. True strength isn't about pushing past your limits. It's about knowing when to pause, when to care, and when to respect yourself. Final message. You haven't lost your manhood. You just need a new approach. You've just heard the 5 truths that thousands of men over 60 wish they had known sooner. They may seem small, but they make a profound difference. Not just in the bedroom, but in your heart health, emotional well-being, and self-worth. We've talked about how spontaneity is no longer a safe weapon, that one failed erection doesn't mean you've lost your value, that emotional connection is the quiet medicine your soul craves, that pornography is silently harming your brain and heart, and that trying to prove your manhood at the wrong time could cost you your life. These things aren't in textbooks, they're not taught in school, and most men are too afraid to say them out loud. But now you know, and more importantly, nothing is over yet. Turning 60, 70, or even 80 isn't the end of your sexuality or intimacy. It's a new chapter, deeper, wiser, and more meaningful. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I being honest with what I truly need? Am I truly connecting or just existing? Am I avoiding something or facing it so I can heal? If something in this video startled you, touched a quiet fear, or gave you a glimpse of hope, then please don't stay silent anymore. Start with a conversation with yourself, your partner, or your doctor. Book an appointment. Share a truth. Choose life again. Choose connection. Choose to be kind to your body. You don't need to fight to prove anything. You only need the courage to live and love for real one more time.